Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of our LabRecon series of tutorials. Today, we will be making a video with a thermistor circuit to test the temperature in our room using a LabRecon experimenter board. We will begin by opening up LabRecon. We're going to close out these windows because we want to start from scratch. First things first, we need our chip to know we're using a thermistor. So we're going to go ahead and view the LabRecon chip pins. From this screen, you can see everything that you would find on a LabRecon chip. You have your analog inputs, your digital outputs, and all your settings that you can change. However, right now, we just want to set one analog input to be a thermistor, so we hit Set. We're going to use the wizard because the wizard makes life a lot easier. And we're going to tell the wizard that we're going to be using a temperature sensor. Next, and we're going to call it temp. The sensor type is a thermistor, and the sensor we're using today is a GE Sensing RL series. However, if you have a different sensor, you can select that one, and if you have a sensor that's not on the list, you can always select a similar sensor, or you can make your own, which we will talk about later. Here is the configuration screen for any sensor. In this screen, you have the circuit you need to build. In our case, you need to connect one side of the thermistor to the analog input, one side to ground, and then have another resistor which value is displayed to connect it to positive voltage. You can also click circuit notes, and that will explain the entirety of the circuit and why things are connected how they are. Furthermore, you can always go down here and you can see the scaling and how the scaling is set to tell the temperature that the thermistor is reading or the values of any other sensor you're using. You can set your own circuit parameters, you can set the IC you're using if you need an integrated circuit, but for now we're using just a simple thermistor, so we hit OK. We're going to continue. We're going to continue by going over the screen right here. So right now you can see that this is configured as a temperature reading. You can see the little T and the thermometer symbol right here. However, right now our temperature is over range because the LabRecon chip is not connected, so it's reading 0 voltage, which it should not be reading. We're going to go ahead and connect to LabRecon, and you'll see how this changes quickly. So go up to the Start menu, go Connect to LabRecon chip hardware. This little bubble pops up telling you to select the COM port, which we're about to do, and we are currently using the USB serial port right at the top. You see it quickly connects, and now we can go back to our chip screen. Once we go back here, and we see temperature is now functioning correctly, and our room temperature is about 21 degrees Celsius, so fairly on par. Now we don't want to have to open this window every time we check temperature, so we're going to go back and set up something for our palette. Go up here to palette, and we're going to put down 2 LED readouts and maybe 2 gauges. Now the readouts and gauges are telling us nothing because we have yet to connect them to our sensor. If we go up into our wiring tab, our wiring diagram opens up and we see our LEDs and gauges right here. I'm going to place an analog input and a conversion piece. Now the wiring is a simple matter of connecting everything up. We're going to move our inputs over here, and we're going to connect temperature to an and we're going to connect temperature to a numbered LED as well as a gauge. Now if we go back to our palette, we see that one gauge and one numbered LED are reading the temperature in Celsius. However, let's say we want the temperature in Fahrenheit. We can come back to our wiring diagram, click on our conversion tool, and change the properties so that we're converting temperature, Celsius to Fahrenheit. Then it's a simple matter of once again connecting everything up. So connect back in here, put down our second gauge and second LED, and in just a moment you can see back on our palette, now we have a Fahrenheit reading over here and a Celsius reading over here. It's a very simple matter of just connecting any sensor and having any readout. Now, just to give a quick example, I'm going to disconnect from this chip. Oh, my mistake. Disconnect from this chip and connect to another instance of LabRecon we already have open. So you can see here, in a matter of 5 minutes, we created a very nice looking temperature readout. I'll reconnect to this one. and you can see our temperature in Celsius, temperature in Fahrenheit, bar graphs. This entire setup takes maybe 2 minutes of your time. Now, just for a quick example, I'm going to hold my hand over the thermistor, and you can see the temperature quickly rises. Once I take my hand off, the temperature will slowly begin to fall. Thank you for watching today's tutorial video, and we'll see you next week.